that on?
It's on.
It's been a long time
It has
since
been.
we've put out a YouTube's.
It's been like 3 months. No, 4 months. Or 5.
I don't know. Today, we have decided to do a little video because Angie's birthday is on April 18th. Everybody put it in their calendars. So we wanted to do something a little bit special.
I'm so nervous.
Don't be.
I don't even know where to start.
Oh, okay. But basically this is like a rebirth for Angie.
Yeah,
ahead,
I mean, oh, it's so weird. It's so weird for me to like say out loud actually, because I have told my very close friends and my mom a couple days ago, yes, I am coming into my last year in my 20s. I will be 29, and I think that that's kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of a pivotal thing for me, but 2 days ago, I officially came out as trans non-binary. For me, I've known my whole life that I was born in the wrong body. I think I fought it my whole life, and then when you fight something like that, it's something that just doesn't really make sense in anything. And like, I was always thinking about different things, like if I was a different gender, there was just a lot of anxiety that's around it. And I even have it now because I feel like it's conditioned in me to feel this way about it. So yeah, even right now, like I'm like on edge a little bit, even saying it out loud. I think there's like a fine line of like people who are gonna be like, that I met later in my life, be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then people who knew me, you know, as a teenager and stuff like that, like they're gonna be like, what the hell? Like they're gonna have so many questions. And that's
also
okay.
the first thing is they're gonna Google trans non-binary. What the fuck does that
100%.
mean? And actually there's a lot of people who don't know what that means.
Yeah.
What is trans non-binary? It's different for everyone. It means something different for everyone. I cannot stress this enough. Again, there are no fucking rules, okay?
Yeah.
So for Angie, trans non-binary
means that I know that I was born in the wrong body. I know that I'm biologically a female, but in my brain, mentally, everything, I feel 100% male.
Mm-hmm. And she does have a boy brain. I can speak on that.
And the dysmorphia that I feel of my body is an even more affirming situation because I've never connected with my female body per se. And I think another big situation around being trans non-binary are pronouns, and that's a really big thing, you know, that people like to stress. But for me personally, and like I said, this is me, I, as of right now, do not have any preferred pronouns. It can be she, he, they, like it doesn't matter. It can be, you know, Angie. That's probably the only one that I'm not, is like my birth name, Angela, that I connect with, because I never really did. So from going forward from this, like Ange is the preferred name that I, you know, really want to
Stick with.
Yeah, stick with for now. And like I said, she uses she all the time for me, and it doesn't bother me. Like,
I still say like my wifey. I still say, but I also use masculine terms when I feel like it. Like, and it makes her feel good.
And it makes her feel good, yeah.
So, but like I said, it's different for everybody. You want to respect somebody's pronouns, and I can't stress this enough, is if you have a question about somebody's pronouns, ask them. And they should be able to tell you if they're comfortable with where they're at. This is my preferred pronoun. Thank you so much for asking. Like, it really goes to show that you're openly accepting and you want them to feel good. Like, I don't ever want to call Angie something that makes her feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, if she felt uncomfortable with she, I would try my best to alter it to whatever pronoun fits her. So my thing is like, just ask people if you're confused, if you're curious, but there's a fine line. Don't cross the line by asking too many personal questions. Also, sexual preference has nothing to do with gender.
Nope.
So,
and that's a really hard thing for a lot of people to understand.
Very
like,
hard.
It's just confusing for them. It's like they just don't understand. They're like, oh, so do you like boys?
They're like, oh, so does that make you straight if you're dating Jessica, who's a female?
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Don't put a fucking label on it. That person is dating that person because they love that person. It has nothing to do with sexual preference. Just leave it alone. Like, just, that is not a thing. Okay? So for Ange specifically, like, if you guys have questions, come and ask her. Like, she's happy to answer them. Okay, really quick, I have a sibling who is trans non-binary as well. So Angie and my sibling Chris have had they've had each other to kind of like bounce back and forth with, this is the way I'm feeling, is this valid? But what we've come to the conclusion of is like, just take the box off of you. You don't really have to have a term. Like, I know that you're coming out as trans non-binary, but like, it's so crazy that we even have to like
label it
because I don't think you have to. I think you can just be Ange. Society puts these ideas in your head that you have to like look a certain way, act a certain way, have a certain voice, talk a certain way, move a certain way in order to be valid in your gender. And I just don't think, I don't believe in that. I just think that you can be your true authentic self, whatever the fuck that actually means to you. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there really are no rules. So I think you have one life to live, and this is what we always talk about. Like, genuinely, you are given this life to live and be your best self, somebody that you love. And before somebody else can love you, like, you have to love yourself.
100%.
And it's been a journey for Angie. I mean, I'll let you speak on it, but to discover self-love, I think, and it's still a journey.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, because I didn't know, obviously, like, I knew deep down, but it wasn't so transparent to me. It's weird how your mind kind of,
you have a shaky voice.
I know, I'm so nervous.
It's okay.
I told you.
Yeah.
But it's still just like me telling my truth out loud, so it's very like, when you hold it in for 29 years of your life, you know, like, even as like candid as I've been with you, like, and as supportive as she is, it's still a fucking scary thing to, you know, go through, you know. And that's why, like, for me, I feel like I'm in kind of a better scenario than a lot of people are, because I do have a supportive partner. I have supportive family members, extremely supportive friends. That's why I genuinely feel like Jess is my soulmate, because I had to go through so many trials and tribulations to even find her. And this validates it even more, you know, like, that you've always been supportive, and the people who you've brought into my life, like your family, like her family is amazing. So supportive of me. Like, when I ended up telling them, they were the first people I told. I told them, and it was no big deal at all. It was,
they were kind of like, oh, sorry, were we supposed to have a reaction to this? Like, because for them it was kind of just, it was natural. It's Angie's always been who Angie's like always been, but never has come out and say it, if that makes sense. Like, when I first met Ange, I don't even know if a lot of people know this, but like, when I first met Ange, she wore makeup, she straightened her hair, she wore booty shorts, she had like, I don't know, it was just so girly and like feminine, but still with a tomboy twist. And like, I always knew something like was not off about you. That sounds weird, but like, I've always known that there's more layers. Like,
I was masking.
Yeah.
I went through a lot of wardrobe changes to kind of figure out my style, who I am, and she, you know, supported me through that. She supported me through my booty short phase. She supported me through
Very
my
supportive.
Baggy clothes phase.
Also supportive, yeah. But we've also donated so many clothes. Like, as soon as she's like, actually, this isn't Angie, we would take the bag and just like, that was a process for a long time. And that's okay. You have to try things in order to be like, that's not me, that's me. You're figuring out.
And I still didn't know. Like, genuinely, like, we've been together coming up on 7 years, and each year it was like pulling back a layer of an onion. And in you know, sometimes in a bad way and sometimes in a good way, but it was always like, because it definitely wasn't easy. She's like, you know, you need to communicate with me, you need to do, you know, this and that. And it was like, I don't even know what's going on up here. So
and from a partner's point of view, I'll just speak on this really quick, is like, it's confusing. Like, I want to be kept in the loop. I want to know what you're going through. I want to be there every step of the way, but I also don't want to be surprised. You know what I mean? Like, where my journey and Angie's journey is going to be different than other people's, but so we could just speak for our journey and saying that, like, I've wanted Angie to keep me in the loop every step of the way, like whether she's felt more feminine some days or more masculine other days, like what can I do for you to support the way that you feel? And I just think like every day is different. Like every day does not feel the same. It doesn't feel, the journey is like this. Like some days I have days where I'm like 100%, like let's do this, whatever you want, like I'm there. Other days I do get confused, and that's the honest truth. Like as open and loving as I am towards you and supportive of you, like I have my own days where I'm like, I just get into my head like and start overthinking things, but I try to always bring it back to like, there's no rules. Fuck the rules. Like there really are no rules. Like just be yourself. And I think that's the most important thing, because if you live your life for other people, like,
and it's hard not to do that in this society. Or not to live up for other people, but to care what other people think and how they perceive you. Like that's a natural human, you know, feeling to want to conform and to fit in. And yeah, as much as you want to be a nonconformist or like anarchy, like which I am, like to the core, like rebel, there's still that part of you that's like, ugh, like I don't want to.
How is society gonna view me?
Exactly, because you don't want to be treated differently.
Yeah, no one does, but you're going to be by people, because other people aren't as evolved as others. I don't know, everyone's different, but like as long as you're living your truth, that's all that fucking matters. Like,
and it took me a long time to realize that. And it's funny because the day that I came out to my mom, which was just a couple days ago, I didn't go to bed the night before being like, oh, I'm gonna wake up and come out to my mom finally. Like that was nowhere near like anywhere on my brain. And I think being in quarantine and everything that's happening right now, it kind of makes you not physically like go look in the mirror, because I feel like we're living in this mirror world right now where it's like you are seeing how you handle situations, how you deal with stress, how you deal with being cooped up. I'll disclose with you guys, like I had a dream that night, and it was for the first time my self-conscious portrayed myself as a male, and the feeling of dysphoria was completely gone. Like I was looking at myself in my dream in a mirror and I saw how I feel. And for me, that was the most like validating feeling, but also like the biggest self-realization I've ever had in my life. Like for me, I've never really had my face in a dream, or my body even, like it's just me doing things. This was like the first time that I saw myself. It was like looking at my soul, but outside of my body kind of, in some weird way. But like I was actually looking at myself, and I felt that connection, like that's me. For the first time in my life, like I felt like I recognized myself in a mirror. So I feel like you can't get any more like any more of a wake-up call, I guess, in a sense of like, hey, this is how you should live your life. When I came out to my mom a couple days ago, I had no idea how she was gonna react, like genuinely. And for those of you who don't know, my dad has dementia, so to me this conversation wouldn't have held any significance with my dad, because
he would have forgotten anyway,
yeah, and his image of me is gonna be the image that he has in his head, and I'm just grateful he hasn't forgotten that image. So I'm okay with, you know, that situation. But for my mom, I had no idea how she was gonna respond, and being from a more conservative area, I just feel like she wasn't exposed to a lot of things, and she went into the military, so it did give her, you know, a lot more open-mindedness and to see different cultures and different people and stuff. So I was kind of feeling hopeful. Even coming out as gay, like she was okay with it. But
also she lived in San Francisco, which I think speaks volumes.
yeah, for sure. In the 70s, so
yeah,
it was fucking riot then. But But yeah, I mean, it's still a nerve-wracking thing to be like, hey, this is how I feel, like, this is who I am as a person. So when I did come out to her, I couldn't even get within the first sentence without crying, because it's like, I think as a kid, you feel this sense of disappointment because you don't ever want to be something that your parents don't perceive you as, or you don't ever want to feel like they're not proud of you. It's their journey just as much as my journey in that aspect. Like, my mom's whole life, she thought she had a daughter, and like, that's all, you know, a part of who she is. So for me, I didn't want to take away anything that had a connection for her with that. So I think there's just a lot of other things that you think about and you're like, I don't know how she's gonna take this, but she genuinely, I feel so lucky, because the first thing she did when I started crying, or the first sentence I even said was, Mom, I feel like I was born in the wrong body. And from that, oh man,
You're gonna make me cry, stop it.
From that, she just got up. We were sitting like 15 feet apart, and she just got up and walked over to me and hugged me. And she just said, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you want to be. I love you. And that's enough for me, pretty much. And then the second thing she said was, I kind of always knew. And for me, it's like, shit, you could have told me. So I knew how to feel and like felt okay, but it was
a weight lifted off your shoulders when she said that. It's
it was
like, oh, you've known.
Yeah, it was such a validating feeling of like, I'm valid in my feelings. I am valid in all those feelings I felt as a kid, you know, like everything that I felt and felt different with, like hearing my mom say that at the age that I'm at now, it was like, holy shit, like, it's okay, like, this is the feeling that I'm feeling, this is a normal feeling, like, this is how it's supposed to be. Once again, like, I'm so grateful for my support group. I'm so grateful for my mom, you know, like, she has become a very progressive person since I was a child, and that's why I feel like if anyone can be open-minded, like anybody can be open-minded, it's what you allow in your heart. And even though she may not understand certain things, or she may not have had experience with certain things, like in that moment, I was her child, and that's all that mattered. So
when you love someone with your whole heart, you just want them to be happy. And I can only speak for myself, I guess, by saying, like, because I love you so much, like, I want to see you be happy, truly. And who am I to stand in your fucking way?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think I'll love you more with you being your full self. Don't. Don't. I do.
And I'm grateful for that, like what we have and what I have with my friends and family, like it's just, that's pure. You know, like no matter who you are through your life, like those people support you and those people love you. I was so inspired by Chris, her sibling, you know, you've been through same things that I'm going through, and to have that connection with somebody, it inspires you on a deeper level. And when they came out, it was like, fuck yeah, dude, like, you know,
what's holding you back?
Exactly. To be able to just be like, hey, this is who you are, be proud of it, you know, show it off to the world, and I'm ready to take that step. This is my step to start living authentically, and I'm ready now more than ever. So as it is my birthday, I am finally going to start living authentically as myself. And actually, this rebirth feels, it's such a nervous feeling, but at the same time, it's like that anxious feeling you get before you know you're going somewhere fun, you know, like before you know you're going I don't know, on a trip or something like that. Like, that's how I feel. Like, I feel like I'm anxious and excited to just start living who I am.
So this is a rebirth. This is the Ange rebirth of her birthday is today, and she really wanted to make this video to come out and say, like, fuck it, I'm just gonna start being me. Today is the day that I'm gonna start living my truth.
So thank you for my friends and family who have been amazingly supportive. It's been a very, very special, pivotal, an epiphany, I guess, feel like, in my life. So shout out to Chris. You inspired me in more ways than, damn it, I don't want to cry. More ways than none. You've been my rock, along with your beautiful sister. So thank you. Yeah, you can put that in there, or you can leave it out.
I'll put it in there.
Okay. All right, see you guys.